Whittier, in the middle of the urban stretch of LA. It's a town that's been able to hold on to its past and its sense of its own identity. From its days as a part of a vast rancho, it was a haven for Quakers and a quiet little agricultural outpost. But World War II brought a new cash crop: people. The orange groves became subdivisions for homes, and the population of Whittier soon outstripped the city's ability to serve its many new residents. The only hospital was so outdated and overcrowded that it turned patients away.
And that hospital became inadequate for the growth of Whittier. If it hadn't been for the women in Whittier who went door to door with a little pan or with raising any kind of money, we'd have never made it.
For all their good intentions, the fundraisers forgot to factor in a couple of medical needs, like an emergency room and the capital to keep the hospital open. Enter Mr. Hubert Perry, who in 1955 was determined to help fundraise and make the future hospital financially rock solid.
These were tough times. We were vastly undercapitalized. None of the so-called millionaires in Whittier supported the hospital. It was a bottoms-up kind of a deal all the way.
So it was a few dollars at a time, donation by donation, collected over the years by women's groups and doctors and churches and residents. In time, steered by Perry's sound financial advice, the campaign raised $2 million and borrowed another $2 million. At last, in 1959, Presbyterian Intercommunity Hospital opened its doors. Perry became its second treasurer, and he found the job came with a surprise.
He moved into a desk, and the officer that was leaving said, "The Presbyterian hospital books are in your left-hand lower desk drawer." Hubert pulled that out and saw that the hospital had less than $500 in their checking account.
In spite of Perry's scrupulous fiscal policies, the hospital struggled to stay open and financially afloat.
We had Presbyterian board members who didn't believe you should make money in a hospital. We weren't making money, we were losing money.
So in 1970, Perry brought a new idea to the hospital. It's called funded depreciation. It's a financial strategy that replaces capital assets in order to pay down the principal on a debt.
We're one of two hospitals in California that have adopted this system. We're rather unique in having the liquidity and having the facilities and having the foresight to build a first-class structure.
5 decades ago, Perry zeroed in on costs, and now the hospital has more than 400 beds, 4,000 employees, and more than $400 million in net worth. And that makes PIH one of the most profitable hospitals in Southern California. Perry's legendary fiscal approach has helped PIH transform from a community hospital to a regional one, expanding its health services and protecting its financial future. That's even more spectacular when you realize that half of the nation's hospitals now operate in the red.
If we didn't do this, we wouldn't be in business today.
He shared his expertise with the hospital, and I think his main goal in life was to keep that hospital solvent, which he has.
He's a community example of what everyone should strive to be. Our communities will move forward for the next decade and century, if you will, because of Mr. Perry.
Part of the PIH commitment to quality care is evident in the nursing staff. Most of them graduated from Rio Hondo College through a special partnership between the hospital and the school.
The staff and the doctors of the hospital treat you with the greatest respect, and they also take care of you from not only from a medical standpoint, but as a person, as a family member. You're part of the PIH family.
Perry was born in Whittier in 1913, when citrus groves and walnuts grew freely.
Growing up, I ran a gas station when I was 13. Our life was built around the YMCA.
Years later, Perry's father, who was a banker and longtime advocate for PIH, served on a committee to find a candidate for Congress. His suggestion? A Whittier College graduate named Richard Nixon.
My dad gets the credit, I guess, for finding him. I think was responsible for certainly a part of his philosophy. Go by my dad's advice and my dad's letters.
Perry too graduated from Whittier College and got his MBA at Stanford. He later found a niche at Los Angeles Bank of America in charge of accounts receivables. And in 1942, he entered the Navy.
Spent 4 years as a cost inspector in the small shipyards.
Upon his discharge, Perry went back to work at B of A, where he became regional vice president.
And I retired in '75. And I've been retired ever since.
As one of Nixon's closest and longtime friends, Perry later helped build the Nixon Presidential Library. Yet through all of this, he never lost his enthusiasm for PIH. But why?
I guess it was just a stubbornness.
The man whose name now graces the hospital's pavilion, the man who has given 54 years of unpaid service to PIH, says he is a futurist and figures man who will never stop working to turn a deficit into a profit in the accounting books and in the book of civic deeds.
I don't think I'd be alive today at 95, almost 96, if it weren't for being involved in these things. It's not only been a struggle, but it's been very satisfying.